What's up, guys? Just wanted to make sure I was live real quick. I have some internet issues today. You know how that is, right? So we are back with day 3. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. It is hump day. I know as photographers, our schedules are kind of, all over the place. So sometimes we'll take a weekday off, right? So regardless of where you're at, if you're joining me today, thank you so much for stopping in. When you hop on, make sure you say hello, wave hi. Love saying hi to you guys. Love seeing how you guys are doing. Let me pull it up the live on my video, live on my phone real quick so I can see who's joining. Zello, what's going on, girl? All right, so let's recap real quick, right? So on Monday, I talked about how to essentially identify your audience, pick a niche, and come up with your messaging, right? Yesterday, I talked about funnels. So I talked about how to create a simple funnel. I literally created a checklist. I tried to make it as easy as possible. You follow those steps, you can actually build your first funnel, right? And this is just to get you started because you can always take it from there and go further. Now, once you build a funnel, the next thing is once you start getting leads, what do, right? A lot of people, they just, they'll get the lead in, they'll follow up, and then they kind of fall off their radar, and then nothing happens, right? Do not let those people go, right? Just because they don't answer you in your initial replies doesn't mean that you still can't get in front of them, right? Doesn't mean that you still don't have the opportunity to speak to them. So one of the ways that you're going to do that is by building a list. And there's 2 ways that you can build a list. It's the email list and the Facebook Messenger chatbot list. And I'm going to talk about both of those today. What's up, Melissa? So if you guys are joining, give me a wave hi. Let me know how you're doing. So I want to teach you guys how to build a list and then what to do with that list. Now, if you're a wedding photographer, it's really difficult because it's like a one and done thing, right? It's not like you just keep getting married over and over again. But if you're a portrait photographer and you do like newborns or family or boudoir or what else do you guys do out there? Just any of those types of niches, I promise you your list is probably going to be your biggest asset because you get recurring clients, right? Someone who wants a maternity session, and they want a newborn session, and they want a session when the baby's 1 and wants a cake smashing session, right? And then she has another baby, right? And then she goes through that whole process again, and then she wants family photos, right? Like, they keep coming back for business, and you want to keep them around because this is a statistic, and it's very true. It's 7 times more expensive to get a new client than it is to just keep the ones that you have and continually having them purchase from you, right? What's up, Jamie? Thank you for joining. So I'm actually going to just jump in and show you guys what to do. So if you guys are portrait photographers, I highly, highly encourage you to build a list. And if you're a wedding photographer, I still encourage you to build a list because let's say you're a wedding photographer and you do family photos, right? So, you get these people on there, even after they are clients and you do your wedding day, they come back to you, they want to do an anniversary session or they want to do the newborn session or family session, like whatever, right? All right. So let me hop into the official presentation here. So we're going to talk about list building and creative ways to generate some leads and build a list. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. What's up, Gladys? What's up, Jamie? Thanks for joining, guys. So your number one goal, your number one marketing goal. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch Funnels 101 yesterday. It was a short video. And basically what happens is you have to be found, and then you have to provide something of value, and then you need to collect that person's information, and then you need to nurture them, meaning if they don't book right away, that you're going to warm them up. You're going to get them to know, like, and trust you, and then you're going to turn them into a client. And yesterday I chatted about, obviously not everyone becomes a client. You don't get 1,000 people to your website and 1,000 leads, right? It just doesn't work like that. But maybe you get 1,000 people to your website, and maybe you get 20 or 30 of them as clients. Now, what you want to be doing is ultimately collecting their information. You want to be getting their email address, right? So I'm talking outside of the contact form, right? A contact form is like someone is ready to work with you. But what if someone's just starting out and they have no idea and they're just the beginning stages of wedding planning, or they're the beginning stage, like she just found out she was pregnant and she just wants to, start discovering what photos are all about, or maybe they have a senior who isn't graduating for, another 7-8 months, but they're just curious what it looks like to do senior photos. Or maybe it's someone investigating boudoir, right? Like they've always wanted to do it, but they just can't get past maybe it's uncomfortable for them, or they just don't know what boudoir entails, right? I'm sure there's some unique objections in that circumstance. So outside of your contact form, there are people who are looking at you and are interested, but they just may not be ready to contact you yet. So your ultimate goal is to give them something of value now that solves their problem that they're essentially looking for. So I dropped a few examples yesterday. One of the ones that we run is we do like a custom timeline template, or we do blog posts like how to avoid, disastrous wedding day family formal photos, like how to stop, family from ruining your day, like things like that. Like I'm thinking like, hey, who's my client and what are they doing and what kind of pain points are they having? If I'm a boudoir photographer, right, I'm going to smash all of the objections that I always hear so that, a woman feels confident to come in and actually do that boudoir session with you, right? So you're going to give them that information, but you're not going to give it to them. You'll give them a little bit for free, but if they want the whole pie, right, you're going to ask for something in return. That thing in return will be an email address, or I'm going to show you basically a messenger bot, right? So they click a link and they go inside Facebook Messenger and you deliver them whatever it is that you're giving them, and then they become a subscriber to your messenger list. The beauty of having a list is you no longer have to worry about algorithms. I'm in a lot of Facebook groups and I'm seeing a lot of talk about people getting very upset about the algorithms. Instagram's not showing my stuff, Facebook's not showing my stuff. I mean, we're talking 1 to 3%. 1 to 3%. So if you have 1,000 followers, right? Let's do 1% of that would be 10 to 30 people see your stuff. That's crazy to think about, right? But when you have a list that you own, no one else controls that but you, right? You now have the ability to put whatever message you have, whatever promotion, whatever offer you have in front of them when you want, right? Obviously the real reality is, when it comes to email, right, a 30% open rate is way better. 20 to 30% is the average open rate for email, is way better than a 1 to 3% reach with social media, right? So that's why I always kind of like try to wrap my mind around. It's like a lot of people put a lot of time into social media and they're not building a subscriber list. If you're going to put a lot of time in social media, maximize that time, right? And you're going to do that by getting people to take action and download something of value so that you can put them on your list and market to them on a regular basis. And this creates recurring business, right? Because now you're not just going to promote to them all the time, you're going to actually send them some valuable stuff. If you're in their inbox more frequently than Rebecca down the street, who is the same type of photographer you are, but you've already built that relationship, you've built that rapport with them because you're constantly emailing and talking to them and building a relationship with them, you're the one who's going to get recurring business. You guys may have the same exact type of photography, you guys equally as talented, but you're going to win because you are top of mind, okay? The other thing too is by generating a subscriber list as well, is you should expect more leads. Now, when you're doing anything and you want to get better at something, you need practice. You need repetitions. If I want to improve my basketball jump shot, like I'm going to sit there and I'm going to practice jump shot all day long until I get better. A lot of people, they don't get enough leads, so they don't know how to talk to those people and convert them to clients. So the biggest issue is they get hung up and they say, I don't know what to say, and they get nervous because they want to book that client. What you really need is to be able to talk to 10, 15, 20 people so you can hear all the different things that people are saying as objections, and then you can go back and you can study, hey, like what did I do in that meeting that was wrong, right? What could I have done better? I had one last night where I met with a couple And I was very straightforward, and I was like, all right, well, like, let's book. What's stopping you from booking? And they wanted time to look at a few other photographers, and I kind of felt like I left them off the hook. Now, that was a learning lesson for me, right? Because there's a couple questions I probably could have asked that could have potentially put them on the spot in a good way, that could have gotten them into the mindset of booking there. So we'll see how that plays out. But I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and we're still constantly learning. But the point of a subscriber list is that basically we're maximizing everything. We're maximizing your marketing efforts and building relationships. All right. So like I said, there's two types of lists you want to focus on. It is completely up to you which list you want to build. I encourage everyone to build both of these at the same time. So what I'm talking about is a Facebook Messenger subscriber list. The program I use is ManyChat. If you have no idea what a chatbot is or ManyChat, if you go in the unit section of this group, I think it's unit like 3 or 4, you're going to see an entire 4-video series dedicated just on messenger bots and how to get that set up. But you can literally get that set up in less than an hour today and start getting subscribers. If you have people messaging your Facebook business page, please connect your ManyChat account. It's free and it takes less than a few minutes. Because then anyone who messages your Facebook Messenger inbox becomes a subscriber, and you can contact them whenever you want. Now, email. So you're going to need an email service provider. So MailChimp is free. When you're first starting out, it's a great solution, but as you get higher in number, I recommend that you go with a better paid option. MailChimp is limited. You won't know what those limitations are in the beginning, but as you start getting more people on your list and start doing more things, then you'll start to be like, okay, yeah, I'm growing out of this, right? But MailChimp is a completely respectable and fantastic way to get started. We personally use GetResponse, ActiveCampaign, and ConvertKit are some of the other big ones that I see people using out there and do an incredible job for email. All right. So here are some ways that we actually build a list quickly. So we do a bridal show twice a year, and at that bridal show we meet around, we tip on average anywhere from 50 to 70 couples, right? And when we meet those couples, we have a personal interaction with them, and we collect their email address and their phone number and all that good stuff. All those email addresses, whether we book them or not, they immediately go into our email list, right? And once they get in that email list, they start to get what we call, it's like a newsletter, but I don't explicitly say it's a newsletter because it's boring. A newsletter sounds boring. But essentially, I try to send them emails twice a month, and I'm trying to increase that frequency. But, every time we go to a bridal show, that's 60 leads, right? So 60 leads. So even if we follow up with them after the bridal show and we hear nothing from them, they just may not be there. They just may not be ready yet, right? So it's kind of like, it's like putting something in the oven. You're baking something. This may be a terrible where I'm going with this, but you make a pie, you put it in the oven, and you wait till it cooks, and then when it's finished, it's ready, right? So it's kind of like how couples are. They need time to warm up. They need to be ready, and then at some point they're gonna be like, oh crap, we really need a photographer, right? So just because you don't hear back from people does not mean they're not following you. Does not mean they're not listening, right? So we take all those people, whether we get in touch with them, whether they respond to us or not, they're going in our email list. And if they want to unsubscribe, they have the ability to do so. We do run engagement session giveaways. These are a fantastic way to generate a lot of leads really fast. We're talking like hundreds of people, right? Really cheap way to not only get some bookings immediately from the engagement session giveaway, but also to build an email list, right? So even if those people don't win, or if I don't get in touch with them, they're going in our email list and we're marketing to them, right? So now I have a list of 100-200 people depending on how well our ad goes. Blog posts on my website, right? So we try to create blog posts that when someone does a Google search, right, our blog post shows up. They click on the blog post. It's something valuable to them, and then if they want deeper, more exclusive information, I'm going to ask for an email address, or I'm going to have a link on my website where they click on it and they go to my Facebook Messenger and become a subscriber. Something else that we do, obviously your website contact form, right? Anybody who contacts you through your website contact form, like if they ghost you, whatever, right? Put them in your email address, put them in your email list, and start marketing to them, right? Because now you're sending them valuable messages, and they may come back around and want to book you. Instagram bio link, right? I know Instagram's a hot thing right now. People are loving Instagram, the photography community. Take your bio link and let's get some juice out of that thing, right? So, Izella, I just saw your question. So if you have several categories such as newborn, family, would you recommend having a separate list? Izella, I am going to chat about what to send to your list in a second, and maybe we can basically pick that apart here, and I'll tell you, maybe be able to give you some direction, some guidance on that. So if you guys have Instagram bio link, turn that thing into a lead generating machine. So I'll show you how our Instagram's set up here when I'm done with these slides. But turn that into a way to collect leads and build a list. So if I come back, all right. So this is where I'm going to talk about what do we actually send. Start simple, guys. When we did this in the beginning, I tried to do too much and then I stopped doing it. That's what happens with a lot of people. They'll start trying to do, I need the email every single day. No, you don't, right? Just make sure it's high quality. So here are some pro tips to kind of get you going. So take a look at the number one source of all your leads and create a way to collect their information. I already chatted about some of this. If you get a lot of leads from your website contact form, you're halfway there, right? Put those contacts into an email provider and start emailing them. If it's social media, add links to posts that lead to a Facebook chatbot, to a page on your website that asks for them to sign up for something. If it's in person, have them fill out a sign-in sheet, scan the QR code that goes to a Facebook Messenger chatbot, so on and so forth, right? All right, now that you have people on your list, what are you going to do? Again, start small. Start with one email a month. Here is the question. When you're writing that email, here's what you want to do. The question that you want to answer is this. Is this valuable to the people on my list, and how does it serve them? So Izella, right? You're newborn and family. If the email that you are writing, if you feel that is valuable to a newborn, somebody with a newborn, and if you feel it's valuable to somebody who is a family with older children, right? Then send it to both of them. Now, if you are unfamiliar with email, writing emails in email platforms, right? You have the ability to segment your list. So you could have one list where it says, hey, all of my subscribers, and then in that list, some programs let you put tags on people. So you could say, hey, these are newborns, these are family, right? So if you go to send an email and you're just like, I feel like this is really relevant to newborn mothers, then you can choose that tag and send it just to newborn mothers, right? And then everybody else will be excluded. So Izella is completely up to you, right? But that's why I feel like this question is really important, because if you can answer this question, it immediately should give you the answer as to who you should send it to. So some ideas that you want to send an email, right? So typically what I'll do is, like, if I have a new blog post and I want to drive traffic to my blog post and I want people to see it, I'm going to send it out in my email. If I did a recent session that I was really proud of and it had a great story behind it, and I talked about like the couple and like behind the scenes and some things of how it went down, send it out in an email. Is there something going on in your personal life that your list may find relevant, right? Like recently, the most recent email that we sent out is we want our couples to love on each other and build a strong relationship. So we actually sent out a date night idea. We did a date night idea, then we did a blog post to our custom timeline planning. You can do recipes, right? If you're a newborn or family photographer, like, you got to think, like, get into a mom's head, into a mom's shoes. Like, what's she going through right now? If you're like a good organizer, like, send her organizational tips, right? Send her your favorite holiday recipes, right? That is stuff that you would do with a friend, right? You got to think of your subscribers on your list as a friend, and you're just sitting there communicating them one-on-one. So when you're writing your emails, write as if you're talking to a friend who is sitting in front of you. You're writing one-to-one. You're writing a personal message, so you're going to use first person, not third person, saying like, hi friend, it's so great that you're on my list, and I'm excited to send this information over to you kind of a thing, right? The entire purpose of this is 80% of this is just going to be valuable information. So if you did 10 emails, 8 of those are not going to be promotional. Out of those 10, do 2 promotional, right? So you send 80%, you're going to say, hey, you know, here's tips, here's this, here's awesome stuff that you may like, here's some articles I saw on motherhood, or here's some articles I saw on wedding planning, or whatever, right? Here's some lingerie to get ready for your boudoir session, here's how to feel sexier around your husband, whatever that is, right? The other 2 times you can do promotions. Hey, I got mini sessions opening up, here's your opportunity to get in on these mini sessions, right? The reason that they're going to be way more responsive is because up to this point you've built a relationship with them and you've shown up to their inbox and you've asked for nothing in return. They know you, they like you, they trust you. You can start to see how all this stuff basically pulls together, right? So day 1 I talked about our messaging, day 2 I talked about how we do a funnel. Now we're talking about how do we build relationships with these people and get more clients. Guys, this is the secret sauce. It's definitely simple, but it isn't always easy because there is a lot of nuances, right? And this is why I see a lot of photographers struggling, because this is the stuff that we need to be doing daily in our business. And some find it hard, or they just have some other kind of mental block or roadblock that prevents them from doing it, right? But this is how you get successful in business. It's not the sexy stuff, right? It's the daily grind. It's that putting out that content. It's serving your list. Basically, you want to fall in love with your list, right? These people are putting money in your pocket. You're going to do everything to give them the best experience possible, right? And really take care of them and make their lives and enrich their lives and make them better. You make it about them. That is the golden secret to being successful in any business, right? So, the only way to do that is to build a list. So, start building your list and start serving them. Start small, start simple, right? Just like I said, just basic email. Hey, here's what I did over the summer. Here's some things I learned that may be helpful to you. Like, just weird off-the-wall stuff. People like reading that, right? And even if they're not reading it, do not get discouraged, because guess what? People check their email, and people can see your name, and they can see the headline, and even if they don't open the email, you're still showing up, okay? So that's what I got for that. I just want to briefly show you kind of like what my recent email was. So we did a simple, intimate date night idea in a blog post, right? So we did some stuff in here. So that's kind of what we're sending to our list right now. I wanted to show you guys what we do on our Instagram profile. So if you click this, instead of just sending them over to my website where people may bounce on it and I'll never see them again, if they click this, we have this like little link builder, right? A lot of people use Linktree, and there's a bunch of other programs. Our thing is Campsite Bio. So you can see our group, our store. This is a blog post. If I click this, it's going to take me into Facebook Messenger. Hey, Darian. Darian and I were chatting earlier. And it lets me ask a little question. Hey, are you going to do a first look? Yes, I'm going to do a first look. Ceremony start time, 5 o'clock. Cool. So I gave them a custom timeline template based on 2 questions that they answered. Now, the cool thing is, I'm getting people from my Instagram profile because I'm putting a clear call to action saying, hey, the latest updates are here. They click that. My client is a young couple planning their wedding. They need custom timeline template. They click it, they go to Messenger. Well, when they click that and they went to Messenger, they immediately became a subscriber in my ManyChat account back here. So I have 119 subscribers. And what happens is this would tick up every time that someone clicks that link. This would tick up by 1 more. I now have subscribers that I can send messages to, one-on-one conversations. And I can collect their email addresses and all other kinds of cool stuff. So, just wanted to show you a practical example of how I'm literally doing this in my own business. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know before I hop off, but that will be the end of the live. So, I encourage you guys, if you don't have an email provider yet, take a look at those recommendations today. Just sign up for one. Just get the free one just so you can get started. And then if you have the time, it takes less than 5 minutes. Set up your ManyChat account because once you're set up, it's literally just connecting it. Anyone who messages your page becomes a subscriber. It's free, no strings attached kind of a thing, and it takes only a few minutes, right? Just baby steps. You guys take those baby steps, and then you really start to get the ball rolling on all of it all. So if you don't have any questions, leave them in the comments of this video, and I will keep an eye on the group today, and I'll be sure to hop in there and answer those. But I appreciate your guys' time and hanging out with me, and I look forward to tomorrow where we're actually going to look at how do I know what I need to improve on, right? We're going to look at a little bit of numbers, right? Am I converting? Where am I actually getting leads from? Which is really important to understand so you're not spinning your wheels and wasting time doing things that just aren't effective. Have a great day, guys. Bye.